What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to another episode of the PS2 Pursuit. Now, this episode's kind of special, you guys, because in this episode, I got to meet up with some really amazing content creators, people that are legends in the retro space, and I have to say it was an honor and a privilege to get to do a video with them. Now, unfortunately, due to operator error and some technical difficulties, all the footage that I recorded for the day didn't record any audio, so that was my bad. I absolutely screwed that one up, but anybody who is a content creator knows that these things do happen. But I felt like I had to still share the story with you guys because I promised you that every time I go out to pick up PlayStation 2 games for the full set, I would share it with you, whether it would be on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, in some fashion, whether it's pictures or videos. So I didn't want to waste the footage, and I wanted to show you who I actually got to hang out with because it was freaking awesome. It was a great time. It was a blast. And if you're in the retro scene, you probably know some of these people. So let me set the stage for you. So I have a friend named Jesse who's pretty well known in the retro community. He does a bunch of console modding and console repairs, and he hits me up and he says, "Hey, Adam Koralik is flying in this weekend and I wanted to hang out. So let's get together." And I was like, hell yeah, absolutely, because Adam is literally one of my favorite creators on the entire platform when it comes to retro gaming. I've literally been watching Adam for over a decade, and I'm a huge fan. And I met Adam a few years ago at the SAT Gamers Expo when he was a guest attending the show. So since Jesse lived in the area of my buddy's store, Laughing Crow Collectibles, what better place for us to hang out and meet up? Now, I also did a video on Laughing Crow Collectibles. You can go back and watch that. And actually the first official episode for the PS2 Pursuit was shot in Laughing Crow as well, where I let my wife pick out some of the games for me. So the plan was we were going to meet up at Laughing Crow, hang out, pick out some PS2 games, and just shoot the shit for a couple hours and just have fun. But then I decided to reach out to another creator who I know is local to my area, and I asked him, "Hey man, Adam Koralik is coming into town. Do you want to hang out at Jared's store and maybe get some footage and whatever and just kind of chill and kick it or whatever?" And he was like, "Hell yeah, dude, absolutely." And that creator is none other than Hoarder, Max. Now, I love Hoarder stuff. I've been following him for a long time, dude. And he makes some really great content on YouTube and on Instagram, basically every platform. So it was really cool that he was able to come out and hang out with us for the day. And I also brought my really good friends, Marissa and Mel. I've been friends with both of them since we were kids in school, and I wanted to bring them along with me on this journey and to come hang out for the day and kind of see like what I do when it comes to this whole YouTube thing. So we got up, got in my truck, drove out to Modesto to Laughing Crow, and we met up with Jesse, Adam, and Hoarder. And dude, it was such a freaking great experience, and I had a freaking blast all day. And I brought in some trades, and I had a challenge all lined up, and I had the whole day planned for the video. And again, unfortunately, because of an operator error and I accidentally pressed the mute button on my microphones, they didn't work and didn't record any audio. So unfortunately, there's no audio with the footage, but I could still share with you guys what the challenge was and how the day went. So I brought in a bunch of trades so that I could get enough store credit to do this challenge in the first place. So I brought in all this stuff, got the trade value, and what the plan was is whatever I got in trade, I was going to divvy it up equally between everybody and let them pick out my PlayStation 2 games for my collection. And at the end of it, I wanted you guys down in the comments to let us know who do you think picked out the best PlayStation 2 games that day. So the store credit that I ended up getting for my trades was around $465. So what I did was I divvied it up equally. So Adam got $100, Jesse got $100, Hoarder got $100, and Marissa and Mel shared $100. And the only rule that I had for the challenge was that if it was a game that was $20 or more, I really would like for it to have the manual. So I gave them their store credit and I set them loose in the store and I let them pick out whatever they wanted. Now, if it was a game that I already had in the collection, I would let them know, hey, I already have it, and to pick something else, and we would go from there. And dude, they picked out some interesting ones, I have to say. But I was really bummed out, you guys, about not getting the audio with the footage because there was a lot of great conversations that went on that day. There was some really good interviews that I did with everybody where I asked them tips and tricks on going for a full set of any console because Adam Koralik has a full Dreamcast set. Cake Hoarder has the entire Japanese N64 set and the North American GameCube set. And so I really wanted to get their insight on how they did it and what was the best way to go about doing something like that. And to give you guys kind of like the cliff notes, basically a lot of people have been telling me to go for the more expensive stuff or the rarer stuff first because it's not going to get any cheaper, right? Like you're going to be able to find a copy of Madden 2001 any day of the week for dirt cheap. But the really expensive ones you want to kind of knock out early because they're going to keep rising in price potentially. Another piece of advice that Adam also gave about collecting for a full set was basically you need to figure out what consoles are really cheap at the moment but could potentially rise in the future. And it's all based on demographics. It's all based on ages and people's nostalgia for these things. And as people get older, you know, prices start to, you know, go up because they might want to relive their childhood and they have adult money now and they want to go back and buy all their favorite games from their childhood. But then as they get older than that, then they start realizing, hey, I got a kid and I have a family now, or I have a career and I don't have time, so they sell off the games and then the games come back down. There was a whole science to it, man, and Adam explains it obviously way better than me on his channel. Definitely check that out, but he gave such good advice, dude, and the interviews from everybody were awesome, so I'm a little bummed out that you guys didn't get to see that. But again, I didn't want to not share this day with you guys because I promised you that I would show you everything that had to do with the PlayStation Pursuit. So I'm going to show you the games that everybody picked out, and you can let me know at the end of the video down in the comments who picked out the best games with their money, who got the best bang for their buck, who picked out the coolest, funnest, best games in your opinion. And first up, we're going to go with my good friends Marissa and Mel, and we're going to show you the games that they picked up. Now, out of everybody, these two really utilized their $100 the best because they actually picked out the most games. So you could kind of say that they got the best bang for their buck. But first up, we got a copy of Backyard Wrestling, a copy of DJ Hero, How Could My Life Ever Be Complete Without Dora, Who Saves the Snow Princess, a copy of Trivial Pursuit Unhinged. Fuck it, I'm gonna leave that in the video. I can't fucking speak. The Incredibles, the Disney movie game. Naruto Uzumaki Chronicles. Got a copy of The Hobbit. I was actually happy to get a copy of this, guys, because this was one of the multi-plats on the original Xbox that I traded in, so I'm happy to replace it. It's kind of hard for me to let go certain games, and I'm a big Lord of the Rings and a big Hobbit fan, so I know this isn't the greatest game in the world, but I was happy to get it back right away. Then we got a copy of Ben 10. I used to love watching this show with my brother when we were growing up as kids, dude. Then they picked out a copy of Tomb Raider Legends. Now, I can't remember if it was Tomb Raider Legends or Tomb Raider Underworld, which is the one that's like unanimously hated because it's garbage, but let me know down in the comments. Then we got a copy of a paperweight, Final Fantasy XI, which is literally useless because the PlayStation 2 online servers closed down years ago. Now, you can still play this on PC, it's still active and up and running, but the PS2 version, literally this disc does nothing. It's part of the collection, it's part of the full set, but I can't do anything with it. Then they picked out a copy of American Chopper, and for I don't even have words, man. Like, why is this a game? Like, I remember my parents watching this show when I was a kid, and get this. This game, for some reason, did well enough to warrant a sequel. Yes, there is an American Chopper fucking Part 2 for the PS2. Why? I don't know. I don't even know what you do in this. It says you create and build and ride your own custom American Chopper. I guess it sounds kind of cool, not gonna lie. But I don't know, really? Like, they needed 2 of these? And lastly, they got ATV Off-Road Fury. Now, I know there's like 4 of these games on the PS2, but this is the first one. All right, guys, so these are the games that my friends Marissa and Mel picked out, and on to the next one. All right, guys, so next up, we're going to talk about the games that Adam picked out, and first up, we have Soccer Mania, which is a Lego soccer game, and it seemed unique to him, and it's definitely unique to me. He also thought it was kind of crazy that it was a Lego game, but it has no Lego branding on the cover. It just says Soccer Mania, but it does have Lego branding on the back of the box. So I don't know, it's a weird one. I've never heard of this before. Then he picked me out a jam pack demo disc set, and this one actually has some really good games, guys. So check this out. This demo disc has Shadow of the Colossus, Ratchet and Clank Deadlocked, Okami, Shadow Hearts from the New World, Lara Croft Legends, Steambot Chronicles, and Beat Mania. So it has a lot of solid titles on here. Too bad, obviously, they're just demos, but you know, it's a pretty cool list of games for a demo pack. Then we got a copy of SNK Arcade Classics Volume 1. This game is basically a compilation of a bunch of SNK games like Metal Slug and King of the Monsters, Fatal Fury, so on and so forth. There is actually a ton of games on here. There are 16 games on this disc, so I love compilations like this, so this was definitely a solid choice, dude. Then he picked out a copy of Neo Geo Battle Coliseum, which is basically a fighting game with a bunch of Neo Geo fighting characters. And it looks cool. I love fighting games. I love breaking out my arcade stick and playing these, so this will definitely be dope to play on my backwards compatible PS3 with my Mayflash F500 Elite arcade stick. Definitely a dope arcade stick if you are into fighting games or old arcade games. But yeah, dude, I love getting stuff like this for sure. Then he picked out a copy of NBA Jam. Now, I have played the original NBA Jam on the Super Nintendo, but I've never played the PlayStation 2 version. Let me know down in the comments if this one's any good. Then, just to mess with me, he picks out SingStar Rocks. Why? He must hate me or something. I don't know. Another cool one that he picked out is PsyOps. Now, I've never played this game before, but a lot of people have been telling me online that it is a lot of fun and they had a blast playing it. I don't really know what it's about. It looks like some type of third-person shooter, but I will know soon enough because I do plan on checking this one out and playing it. And lastly, he picked out the Sonic Mega Collection, which has all of the Sonic games from the Sega Genesis on it. So again, another cool compilation disc. I love getting stuff like that. So yeah, there is Sonic 1, 2, and 3, Sonic and Knuckles, Sonic 3D Blast, Sonic Spinball, and Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. All right, guys, so these are the games that Adam picked out. Let's move on to the next one. All right, so my buddy Jesse only picked out 3 games, so he picked out some pricier ones for sure, and he spent his $100 pretty wisely, I think. I think these are great titles. So first up, he picked out a copy of Mobile Light Force 2. Now, the funny thing about this game, and I learned from Pete Dorr, who's also a fellow creator on YouTube, that this game right here, the cover has absolutely nothing to do with what the actual game is about. So this looks like a really bad, like, Charlie's Angels knockoff. Like, this looks like a bad 3D, maybe platformer or adventure game or shooting game or something. But it's actually a shmup. It's like Galaga, or it's like Gradius, or any of those, Ikaruga, you know, stuff like that. It's not anything like what the cover is. It has nothing to do with that. When the game came over from Japan, they completely changed the cover to this. Don't ask me why. It makes no sense. But it is a shmup. So definitely happy to get one of those. Next up, he picked out a copy of Gradius 3 and 4. It's both games on one disc, so I was happy to get a copy of this. I've been really getting into shmups lately, so I'm definitely happy to check out any new ones that I haven't played. And yeah, this was definitely a cool one to add to the collection. And lastly, but surely not least, he picked out a copy of Gradius 5, which I hear this is one of the better shmups on the PlayStation 2, if not the best. A lot of people love this one and say it is the best on the console. Let me know down in the comments what your favorite shmups are. Is it this one or is it another one? All right, guys, so these are the games that Jesse picked out with his $100 in store credit. Let's move on to the last person. All right, so these are the games that Cake Hoarder picked out for me. First up, we have a copy of Hurdy-Gurdy. It looks like a 3D action adventure platformer style game. Have no idea about this one, but a lot of people say it's fun and it's cute and they remember seeing it on the shelves, but I don't know anything about it. Then he picked out a copy of The Adventures of Cookie and Cream. Don't know anything about this one either. It looks like a 3D platforming puzzle game. No idea, but the cover looks cute, and it's actually published by Age Tech and From Software. Dude, that's the same people who did Kuon. Like, it was made by From Software and it was published by Age Tech, which Age Tech is no longer around. That's actually really crazy. I don't know if you guys can see that, but right there, From Software and Age Tech put this one together. That is a trip. I just noticed that on camera. Like, that is crazy, but it's a really minty copy. Now I want to play this. Then we got a copy of freaky flyers, and I guarantee you he picked out this game because of the massive airplanes that are on the cover. Yeah, because, you know, video games from this generation were a little different. And then he picked out a copy of the Sega Genesis collection, which has a bunch of banger Sega Genesis games on it. Kid Chameleon, Phantasy Star 2, 3, and 4. We've got Rystar, Echo the Dolphin, Sonic the Hedgehog, Golden Axe, and more. There's 28 games on here. Then we got this weird one that I've never heard of called Stretch Panic. I don't know anything about it. We got a copy of Taito Legends, which is another compilation disc that has a bunch of games that were published or developed by Taito, the creators of Little Samson on the NES. All right, guys, those are the games that Cake Hoarder picked out, and that is the final person for the challenge. So let me know down in the comments, guys, who picked out the best PS2 games of the day. Was it my friends Marissa and Mel? Was it Adam Korlick? Was it Jesse? Or was it Cake Hoarder? But guys, with that gave us 29 games, and I can't end on an odd number. So that very same day, I couldn't just leave with 29, so I picked one myself. And the game that I picked out to make it an even 30 is Raiden 3, another shmup. With those 30 games that we picked up, that brings the grand total for the collection to 238 games. But that's it, everybody. I got to hang out with some really cool YouTubers at a really cool store that my friend owns, and I got to hang out with some amazing people. Some of my closest friends were with me, and it was just a blast, man. And again, I could have just scrapped the whole video because of the audio issue that I had, but I promised you guys again that I would share the entire PlayStation 2 journey with you, so I didn't want to throw the footage away. So I just want to say thank you to Jesse and Adam Korlick and Cake Hoarder and Jared and his son Jace, who run Laughing Crow Collectibles, because it was an absolute blast. I want to thank my friends Marissa and Mel for coming along with me and being a part of it. It means the world to me. I love getting to have my friends and my wife and family get involved with my stuff here on YouTube. So it was so much fun. And it was a day that I honestly will never forget. It was such a great time, and I appreciate everybody involved. And I appreciate all of you for watching and commenting and sharing and reaching out and being so freaking supportive. We are so close to 10,000 subscribers, you guys. It means the world to me. And if you want to keep up with the PS2 pursuit, see how this journey goes and where it takes us, please consider hitting that subscribe button and liking the video and turning on the notification bell. I got a lot more videos lined up that are already filmed and being edited as we speak, so there is more PlayStation 2 goodness coming in the near future. But guys, thank you so much for watching. And lastly, I will share with you that we have a brand new podcast that I am a part of. I am one of the co-hosts, called the Upcoming Retro Podcast. It airs every Sunday live, and you can watch it here on my channel, and eventually we will be switching it over to an actual podcast YouTube channel. But for now, you can watch it on my channel live at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time or 12 p.m. Eastern Time every single Sunday. Me and my 3 other co-hosts, AK Games, Video Game Votary, and Black Ranger, talk about modern games, retro games. We show you pickups for our collection. We talk about gaming news, video game hot takes. We're going to be having some awesome guests in the near future. It's going to be a blast. So definitely check that out every Sunday. And if you don't get a chance to watch it live on Sunday, we will be uploading all the episodes to our YouTube accounts as well, so you can listen in on a later date. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support and sticking with me for the PlayStation 2 pursuit. And until next time, guys, happy hunting.